Hi, it's Dawn here, and today I want to talk about how I cured myself of motion sickness, totally by accident. And it's pretty amazing. So I want to share the data, even though a lot of people might not be able to use it, because it's me. Okay. If you're interested in how to control fear and anxiety and some other stuff, this may apply as well because it's a mind thing. All right. So what is motion sickness? We all know what it is, right? Car sickness, seasickness, motion sickness. I had it at a pretty good sensitivity to it, where if I'm in the back seat of a car, guaranteed I will get car sick. If I am in the front seat of the car, I'm okay for a little bit, but I will eventually get car sick if we're going past an hour. And then if I look down or read, if I try to read, I got maybe 60 seconds. 45 seconds, I'm going to start to feel nauseous. If I catch it right then, when I feel the first twinges of nausea, roll down my window, do my calming exercises, and I catch it and stop it right then and there, then I'm fine. But if I don't, if I allow it to go to 60 seconds and it takes full hold of me, I'm done for the rest of the day. I'm nauseous for the rest of the day. So suffice to say that I'm quite sensitive to being motion sick, but it doesn't affect me if I'm the driver. So I'm basically a control freak and I need to always be driving and stuff like that. And then I don't have a problem. I can race motorcycles and stuff. I can go at high speeds, take turns, drag knee, no problem at all. Just as long as I am in control, which I think is one of the basis for motion sickness. So one day it broke. It completely broke. I completely broke and I could no longer even drive. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even look at things that moved because I would immediately get nausea and motion sick. And how did this happen? How did I break myself? Well, it was Dakota's fault. We had a fair going on, and at the fair, then they had this one ride that looks like a spaceship, and I don't remember what it's called, but it looks like a spaceship, and it spins, and it's basically a human centrifuge. Where it spins, you get a lot of pressure and you get pushed onto the sides of it, and then it defies gravity because the centripetal forces and the centrifugal forces are strong enough to defy gravity. It exceeds the pull of gravity, right? So then you can flip upside down, you can, and you stick to the walls. You go upwards and stuff like that. So we went in that thing. Dakota's like 4 years old. She loved it, had to go again. So because I love her so much, we did it again. And then, so that's 2 times. And then after that, she wanted to do it again. 3 times in a row. She wanted to do it again after that. But at that point, I am pretty much down on my knees and I am dying. If I look up, if I move my head, I immediately want to puke. It's not just puke, because I never actually puked. It was like nausea permeated every pore in my body. I was just nauseous, like my hand was nauseous, my fingertips were nauseous. I'd never been that nauseous before, and it was horrible. I couldn't even move, I couldn't look, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I basically just had to close my eyes, suck up into myself, curl up into a ball, and just die. It was that bad. So when she asked if she could go on the ride again for the fourth time in the row, I handed her to another parent in line and I said, will you please take my daughter? She has already been on this ride 3 times in a row. She knows how it goes. You don't have to do anything. She's not scared. Just watch her, because I cannot step foot into that demonic machine any longer. That thing is horrid. So they took her for the fourth time, and after that I called a stop to the whole thing, because she would probably go in that all day. But anyways, that thing broke me. For months I was in this broken state where I could no longer drive or anything. Now, I did drive. I sucked it up and I managed to, it took like a full week I was in that state. After a week, it kind of gradually got less and less and less, but I was still left months later. I was still left in a state where I was making myself nauseous just driving. Me driving, which is horrible. I was broken. I cannot even stress enough how broken I was. So several months later, right? And she wants to go to Disneyland. So at Disneyland, she has all of her rides like Dumbo, which is very mild. It just goes around in a circle, goes up and down, very, very mild. I get into Disneyland and I'm trying to do my duty as a parent, but I can't. I can't even look at the rides going around in a circle. I'm feeling so nauseous. So I knew that I had to fix things. So I reverted. I've been trying to rack my brain on how to fix myself, and I reverted back to my fear training. I do these exercises, fear and anxiety training, and I'll go more into, well, maybe I should do that now. Okay, what it is fear and anxiety is all in your head. Okay, it's all in your brain, and it can get to the point where it affects you physically, but the brain controls it all. Brain controls your heart, controls, sweat, controls, I don't know, everything, right? Your brain controls it all. And then there's some stuff that the body controls that is not involved with the brain. And then it's weird because if the brain is controlling it all, and then you can control your brain. So it's like there's you, there's your brain, and then there's your body, right? But you can control your brain, and then your brain can control your body. There's three separate things. Now, different things that you do to control your brain. There is one thing called the zone. Any athlete or musician or artist will probably recognize the zone. The zone is when everything else disappears and you are zoned in and you are focused on that, boom, right in front of you, and you can do it with a grace and a precision that does not exist if you use your mind. Okay, so the zone. Now, if you know the zone, then you can practice how to click into it. Like I play the piano or play the guitar, right? I can play the piano and I can play the piano, read like the notes and play the piano technically accurate. Or I can click into the zone, close my eyes, and then my fingers just flow and then I feel it, I flow with it. So it is something that I can click in and out of. I can click into the zone, I can click out of the zone. When I raced motorcycles, if I wanted to do well, I needed to be in the zone. If I could not get myself into that zone, I knew that my time was not going to be good. But I knew that if I was in the zone, that is when I can break records, personal records, and stuff like that. So the zone and practicing, being able to click in and out of that, okay? So that is a switch in your mind that you can practice. Now, another switch that you can do is fear. You can switch fear on and off as well. You can switch pain on and off as well. You can shut down pain, the sensations of pain, because all pain is technically is electric signals being sent up through your nerves, letting your brain know, okay, alert, something is wrong over here. Well, your brain can shut that down and go, okay, cool, I got the message. Ignore, mute. Okay, so you can do that. You can do it with pain, you can do it with fear, and I wondered if I could do that with this nausea, this motion sickness. So going back, we're at Disneyland and I can't do the rides, but I'm trying to be a good parent and I'm trying to fix myself, right? And I know that I can click off pain, I can click off fear, and now I wanted to see if I can find the right switch to switch off this motion sickness that has been plaguing me for months. So I can't do it. I can't do it on a gentle ride. I need a roller coaster. I need something fast. I need something that is going to scare me because I need that trigger, because that trigger is going to help me find that switch to switch it. So we get on this roller coaster, and what happens, backing up, what happens is when you get on a roller coaster, and you know when the do, 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 and then you get that all that anxiety building up and stuff, and then you get to the top, and then there's that moment where you're about to drop and your anxiety is through the roof, and then it goes, and when it drops down, then you feel that, you know, pit of your stomach sensation, it falls down, and you're like, ah, and you can't deal with it, and you're like, stop. Okay, right there at that moment, stop thinking that you don't want it to go down. Switch your brain and think, I want it to go down, or think, I used motorcycle racing, because when I was racing motorcycles, I was taking turns, dragging me, going over 100 miles an hour. It was the same type sensations, but on a motorcycle, because I built up the skill to it and all that stuff, I loved that sensation. I loved the speed and the thrill and all that. So what I did on the roller coaster is I switched, and I switched, clicked into the zone, right? So all I'm focused on is what is right there in front of me, okay? Then I clicked off the fear by thinking, okay, I'm on a motorcycle, I'm taking a turn, I want to get on throttle, and I'm just gonna roll right through it. And the motorcycle, the roller coaster goes, and I'm like, whew, and I'm like, okay, knee down, you know, on the throttle, on the throttle, on the throttle. Okay, I went faster, faster, fast. And I got to the point where I was taking all these turns on the roller coaster, but I wasn't feeling any of those fear sensations anymore, because now it had switched over to the sensations I get when I'm racing a motorcycle. And that is why maybe not everyone is going to be able to use this technique. Maybe not exactly use this technique, because this was the experience that I linked it to. Okay, basically I'm rewiring my brain. My brain was going, roller coaster, I'm out of control. I can't control this. I don't want to go. I don't, you know, we're all gonna die. And instead I linked that to the experience of racing motorcycles, where I'm going even faster than we're doing on the roller coaster, but I am in control, and I do want this, and I want to go faster because I want to win the race. So that is my rewiring link, okay? And the same thing, how I rewired that, that's how I did it with the motion sickness. So instead of, you know, oh, nausea, you know, because there's a sensory incongruency. Well, on the motorcycle, I am in control, and I have all my senses. And it was like, so I did the same exact exercise with just a little tweak for the motion sickness, and bam, it was cured. All of a sudden, all the nausea went away, and I was just racing my motorcycle on throttle, knee down, boom, boom, boom. And it was amazing. All the nausea went away because it's all in your head. So fear, nausea, anxiety, all of that they're all related, and you can switch it, and it can be that quick. It's that instant. So I don't know, maybe I've lost you guys, but hang in there if you're still here. Seasickness, they say that, first off, is this even possible? Because they say that you can't cure motion sickness. Well, you can, because your body does it naturally. They say that seasickness takes about 3 days to resolve. The reason why we don't usually fix our car sickness is because we're not in the car straight for 3 days. But on the ocean, you're on it 24/7 for 3 days, and in about 3 days, it'll be different for different people, but in about 3 days, it will resolve itself. Your brain and your body will click, sensory congruency, and it meshes, and then bam, it is gone. So you can do that too. You can force that if you can find that click. And the click is to get your body to be able to align itself, rewire itself, and realign your brain to your senses. I think it works with my experience of motorcycle racing because that was physical sensory alliance. You have to have a certain balance and a certain, you use all your senses when you do this in order to do it fast and well, which I kind of did. Then you have to have a certain level of balance and sensory congruency in order to pull it off. And so when I switched my brain to that, I was able to pull it off and then realign myself, and then that fixed it. So it fixed it for Disneyland. I was able to, so then, but I didn't know how far it fixed it until I started testing it. And I didn't even think to test it. It just kind of came upon by accident. But so now I can read in the passenger seat of a car. I can read in the back seat of a car. There is no more motion sickness. Like, it is completely cured. Now, I haven't tested it in the back of my F-350 truck on a 5-hour drive, okay? So I haven't tested it to extremes yet, but I've tested it, around my normal stuff, which all my life, all these years, I have never been able to do it. And now I'm able to read. Like, it doesn't even, I don't even get the slightest twinge of motion sickness anymore. And it's gone. So that means I found the switch. There was a switch in my head, and I found it, and I clicked it, and it's fixed. So there you go. That is the cure for fear, for motion sickness, for anxiety, and all that. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't, if we go back to fear and anxiety, obviously, I have a control of it. I know how to control it. I can click into the zone with music. I'm sure we've all felt this, right? Music, and then you can go into the zone, right? You can practice it with a heart rate monitor, and control your breathing. You can practice with exercises like, for me, anything that raises my anxiety, but practice. So what is a practice situation? Computer games, stupid games like Tetris. Okay, you know how it starts getting faster and faster, and then your anxiety gets, in that moment when you're like, stop and clear your mind and force yourself to think, because you can keep doing it. A lot of times, you just get so anxious, you just freeze, and then you stop thinking, and then you're not able to do it. Use those games to learn to control your breathing, control your heart rate, control your anxiety, and get that. And another good game is like Diner Dash, where you're this waitress, and then you have all these customers, and then you got to go faster and faster, and you got more and more customers, and you got to multitask, and then customers start getting angry, and then when they get angry, they got this angry, icon going on over their heads, and then you get more anxious because everyone's all angry at you, and then and then finally you're like, you freeze, and you can't do it anymore. Use these games to push yourself to feel that, and when you're feeling that, use it to practice pulling yourself back, grab that, pull it back, regain control. Don't worry about winning or losing the game. And maybe this helps with sportsmanship and racing, right? Don't worry about the game. Don't worry. It's like in racing, you know, people want to go fast. And so they're like, I want to go fast. And then you'll never go fast that way. You'll just keep crashing, because the way to go fast is just focus on what is right in front of you. Right here. Don't worry about any other rider. Don't worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about the track. Well, you kind of, but you know what I mean. Don't worry. Just focus on what the step right in front of you. That is what you can control. You can't control anything else, but you can control yourself. You can control your brain, your body. The one step right in front of you, that is what you can control. Make that a good one. Once you got that step, it's easy. Do the other step. Smooth, smooth. Do that one step. Just keep doing that. And then eventually, who knows? Maybe you win first place. And that has happened. That is how, but that's how it's done. It's not done by looking far off in the distance and go, get there, you know? Push everyone else out of the way. Just get there, because that's a mad scramble dash. And that's not, in my experience, that's not what success is. Success is a lot more calm, inner, the zone. It's you and yourself and I. It's just you and that one step in front of you. And if you can grab that, you can control that, that is all the control you need to maneuver through this world. And that's how you can combat fear. A lot of people have fear when they're riding, right? Well, how do you combat that? Why, first of all, why are you afraid? Are you afraid because you fell off and then you got hurt? Well, if you fall off and you get hurt, you heal, right? Did you heal? You healed. Okay, maybe you have permanent damage, but that'll heal as well. I'm only talking like this because I've broken just about every bone in my body multiple times, crashing multiple times in motorcycle racing and all this stuff. I know about broken bones. I know about healing. And you know what? Instead of making me afraid of it, gave me confidence, because I know that I can heal from it. Yes, I have permanent damage that makes me gimpy, but if you were to look at me, you wouldn't even guess that I had those. Unless all of a sudden you go, wait, why does she always do that? Or why is she always like crooked eared? Then you can pick up the signs, because I am totally handicapped. But what I'm saying is you can work through it. And then I look at the guy that has no arms and no legs, and he can't climb Mount Everest or whatever it was. He climbed this. So no excuses. And this is me talking to myself, not necessarily to you, okay? So yeah. So what you do is focus on what you can control. It's fear, right? You're afraid of falling, okay? How can you stop yourself from falling? Better training for your horse. This is a big one. You see how I always want to make sure that Lasser and I are like this, because if he is against me, higher chance of me coming off, right? I mean, that's perfectly logical. So better training for your horse, better relationship with your horse. That's two. What else? Be a better rider. That's what I had to do. Lasser, when I first got him, he dumped me. He did a rear spin bolt and I came right off. I'd never felt a horse that powerful, that fast, that athletic in my life. He's big. He's bigger, and he was cranky and horrid and dangerous. And I never had that before, right? I had good horses. So, yeah, I never felt that before. So mental note, become a better rider. And I did. So become a better rider. Look at safety gear. I have my vest, I have my helmet, you know, because of safety gear. Okay, then when I do fall off, it's, you know, less chance of me breaking or hurting something, more chance of me being able to get up, because the fall, you prepare for the fall. Motorcycling too, you dress for the crash, not for the ride. You prepare for the fall, because To expect that you never fall, to expect that you'll never make a mistake, that's a lie. And if you expect that and you still fear, then maybe that's why. Because part of you knows that that is completely unreasonable. You cannot have that level of control to guarantee that you will never fall or make a mistake. So but it's not the end of the world, because there's all these things you can do to lessen the mistake so that the mistake or the fall is not going to kill you. You're going to be able, if you know how to fall, you can tuck and roll, get right back up again. You got the safety gear, you can get right back up again. You got the will, get back get back in the saddle. And so so you do all these things that you can control, and then the one step, the zone, the click, and then you focus on what you can control. Focus on the fact that you're a good rider, you're in shape, you got all the gear. Focus on those things. Don't focus on the possibilities. Those negative Nancys that every time they see a situation, their mind immediately goes to the negative and what could be. That is a horrible way to live. And you're not going to go anywhere. You're not really going to get anywhere if you're constantly always looking for how you're going to die and fall rather than how to climb and lift yourself up. Okay? So that's what I do to combat fear and anxiety and all that stuff. Do my exercises, practice. It's a brain. Your brain needs food, it needs practice, brain power, it needs all of that stuff. Use it, because it is so powerful. And yeah, so there you go. It can cure motion sickness, fear, and anxiety. And then it can also control horses, because a lot of people, if they see Lacera and I together, they'll, oh, it's almost like you guys are telepathically linked or bonded is a common saying. And how is that? Having the strength of mind, strength of character, whatever, to have that relationship, to not fear it, to embrace it and all that. Everything is connected, everything is linked, and it all starts right here. So good luck, and hope that helps. I don't know. We'll see. And be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.